All right, welcome. We are playing Heroes of the Hearth, a story game written by Stanin Jackson. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. And this is a game that we have played before, but we're going to give us another shot because the recording was corrupted from the last time, unfortunately. So just going to do let's see, do a quick player introduction. So name, pronouns, and what you're interested in doing in this game. And then I'll do a quick cats intro after that. Okay, so let's start with Paul.
Hi everyone. I'm Paul, he, him. Last time I played like a village child. It was really fun. It's gonna be cool to like try a different character for this game.
Okay, and then Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob, he, him. Last time we played this, I played Avron, the secret lover, and today I'm going to try Adair, the spouse.
Okay. And then I'm Madeline Colley, she, her, they pronouns. And I played Haven actually twice before. So the first time as a male and the second time as a female. And I think I'm going to be playing for funsies. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Kailan, the twin of Rayna, the cleric. Okay, so for the intro for this game, I'm just going to be reading a little bit from the book that it came from, which is Seven Wonders, a Story Games Anthology that was done by Pelgrane Press. Okay, so if anybody's interested in that, I will include links in the description if I'm able to post this. All right, so for Heroes of the Hearth, few are destined to become heroes in the conventional sense. Not all of us can be the strongest, the bravest, the cleverest. Most of us live in the background, in the shadow of those who fight the greatest of beasts, delve into the darkest of dungeons, and reap the most glorious of rewards. The songs, the epics, the legends, they're all about the adventurers. And yet, behind every adventurer, there is a place that adventurer once called home. Behind every adventurer, there is a person who knows them. There are people who grew with them, and behind many, but admittedly not behind all, because not even the strongest of us are always that fortunate. There are people who love them and people who did not want to let them go. Today, we do not sing of adventurers. Today, we sing of the people behind the adventurers. We sing of their stories. We sing of their struggles. We sing of how they themselves deal with the threat that holds their lands in thrall, the threat that dragged their loved ones from their sides. Today, we sing about the other heroes, the heroes of the Hearth. So in Heroes of the Hearth, the players tell the stories of the heroes who are left behind when their loved ones go off to war. The game is freeform, narrative-led, and a story game where players frame scenes and then play through them to create the story. There are several stages to this game, comprised of world creation, character creation, acts 1 to 3, a climax, and an epilogue. So we will be going through probably, we hope, up to Act 2 today. And we've split this into a 2-shot, which we will continue the remainder in the last session. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording right now so we can at least put together the character creation just to make sure that we have what we choose. And then we're going to introduce the characters and then do a quick world creation. All right, pausing the recording. Okay, so now we're going to be introduced to our characters with their name, the description, the adventure that they're associated with. And then there are bonds that we would answer of each other. And then there is a question, a personal question that we would have to think about and answer. I think that that one should be more of something in play rather than something we just say, there it is. But we will mention the question within the start of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Rob. When you get to the bonds, I mean, you're welcome to ask us right then and there, or if you want to just wait and think about it to finish the intro, all of us to finish the intro, and then we'll go into the questions. That's fine. Okay. So tell us about Adair.
Okay, well, Adair is the spouse of Kane the barbarian. Adair managed young and ostensibly makes a living doing odd chores around the village. Kane hasn't been around much, and it's unclear whether Adair minds this. So I'm going to be playing Adair as a she/her. And yeah, I think my picture of her is she's kind of young and like the prompt says, married young, and I think she was kind of a destitute child. So just having that safety of someone taking her in was what was going on there. And my bonds I have established are Kailan, which is Paul's character, knows how Adair really makes money, and Quin, Matt's character, nearly killed me.
Actually, I think that's in reverse. So like my character, Kailan, is the one who knows how you really make
I got
money.
the wrong way around. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then Quin, Paul's character nearly killed you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, I'm actually going to change it around because I kind of have.
Okay.
There's a dynamic in place there that I kind of figured out. So yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Kailan nearly killed me.
Okay.
And Quin knows how I really make money.
Okay, this should be interesting because yeah, when you get to my bonds, it's like I think you're my best friend. So that's even better. No, it works. It's perfectly fine. Do you want to mention your personal question right now, or you want to wait?
Oh yeah, my personal question is, what are you afraid of? I have an idea for that, so if you want me to bring that out now,
that's up to you.
Yeah, I think Adair is really afraid of being left with no support, with no, nobody to, or no means of providing for herself.
Okay. All right. And Paul, tell us about Quin.
Quin, I'm playing him as he, him. Quin is the sibling of Corbert the paladin. Whilst both grew up as the children of a local merchant, Corbert has spent most of their adult life on the road, while Quin remained behind to continue the family business. And the family business is kind of just like a general store where most of the villagers can get what they need on the day-to-day, or if any travelers come through, they can like replenish their resources over at a general store. Quin, probably maybe like a year or two older than Adair, maybe also a young man. Has a like boyish face, wears like loose fitting tunics and let's say glasses. And my bonds are with Kailan. Kailan once saved my life, and for Adair, you played together as children. Yeah. And my question is, what would you have done if you hadn't stayed with the family store? Yeah, I have some idea, but I'll see how that changes as we play.
All right. And I'm playing Kailan, the twin, she, her. Kailan is the twin of Rayna, the cleric. While the two trained together consistently until adulthood, Kailan chose to use their skills as a local healer instead of going on quests. So I guess I am the healer of the village. And then Adair is my best friend, which should be interesting when I almost kill her. Sorry. And then Quin, I've always fought with Corbert because Corbert's an ass. Anyway, and have an inkling about the secret illness. So again, I think that's going to come out more in play rather than something that I just say right off the bat at the moment. Okay, so we have introduced our characters, our heroes of the Hearth, and then now we're going to get to world creation. There's the 5 questions that are in the character keeper in the book. And I'm just, for brevity's sake, it's like I just assigned each of us one of the questions, and then the last 2 will be where we all answer. Okay. So, what is the threat? The prompt for this is: in our village, we never even heard of the threat's first coming. While we tended to our homes with our loved ones at our side, our rulers sent their own child out to lead a small group of heroes in a quest for glory. We remained ignorant while these brave adventurers fought and fell. So I'm going to say that the threat. I mean, I'm going to say it's the creation of something called the rift. This rift was a fissure that opened up suddenly and near the capital, and that the king had sent out his own son and his party of adventurers out to investigate and then see what was happening. And it ended up being not quite an epic level threat yet, but I mean enough that there were creatures coming out of this rift and therefore starting to infect the land in their own way. So that is what I'm going to say the threat is. If anybody wants to build on that when we go through the questions, like, please feel free and do so, because since we are not really apprised of what the hell's going on necessarily, these could be somewhat conflicting stories. These could be like, rumors and hearsay. So it changes through the passing of time and, well, years. Okay. Who leads the threat? Rob, go ahead and answer that question.
So if it's a rift that's been opened, I'm guessing the person who leads the threat, there's got to be whoever opened that rift. So, and it's near the capital. I'm wondering if we have some kind of sorcerer king on the throne in the capital who, everyone has to pay tribute to him. He's kind of the religious, spiritual, and legal leader. And, all kind of deference flows towards him and his sorcery opened this rift for reasons that maybe are not entirely clear to us.
So does that mean there's like 2 kings then? Like a non-sorcerer king and then like the regular king who called out like the party to go there?
I wonder if the party was, or maybe there's some kind of potential usurper king, which is what the party was brought out by, a pretender to the throne that is opposed to whatever this sorcerer king
that's cool.
is up to.
Okay, so all right, so we're
That's
saying that
maybe
our king is the sorcerer king, and we're saying that this king out of the rift is
No, I think our king is the one who, the sorcerer king, is the legitimate king and opened the rift, and this kind of pretender who is maybe a relative of his, but is, opposed to his rule, and that's who our party was, part of his or her resistance to this sorcerer king, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. And Paul, what is the geography of this country like?
I think the geography is very hilly with a lot of like rivers flowing through them.
All right, feel free and then adjust anything that I wrote into the character keeper, guys. All right. Now, this will be the last two questions will be ones that we answer together. Prompt is, what is our home like? That's when a letter came to our village. We read it together, we with our loved ones. It was time to try again, the letter said, a plea in our ruler's own hand. It was time for adventurers to band together, to move not against the threat, to destroy it at its source. We watched our loved ones. We already knew they had no choice but to respond, no choice but to leave our home. So each of us can paint the scene about what our home is like.
I can start. I like the idea because it's different from last time we played that we have a village by the river.
Yeah, maybe even surrounded by like a fork in the river, so it's almost on an island
Yeah, that'd be fun.
in the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like a big, significant river.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think what we kind of do. I guess there must be farmland surrounding it. I'm picturing when you said, a hilly country with lots of rivers, I'm picturing somewhere that is fairly temperate, but rains a lot.
Yeah, like rainy.
If it's fast flowing rivers, it's probably could have trout. So we would have like some sort of like fishing industry.
Yeah. And maybe transport as well. There are like barges and things that come through on their way to places on the river. So we kind of are a center for, I think that's why Quin's merchant business is there.
Exactly.
Buy and sell things and like resupply these these barges that are passing through. So we're almost like a way station on, we're not a significant destination in ourselves, but we're a resupply stop, a stopover. So we have lots of probably transient population, people who are staying a night or two and passing through.
I don't know if you want me to read the prompts for the previous ones to kind of like add to what you've already put in. If it makes sense. For instance, for who leads the threat? Our ruler met the threat with all the force they could muster. The battles were wild and bloody. Our citizens were caught in the middle. Supplies were decimated. Many of our people were forced to become refugees, avoiding death, but losing their homes in the process. Then news came to our ruler of the true will behind the threat. So obviously makes it more serious than we thought.
Yeah, it's almost like, I guess it's almost like a civil war situation, right? Where we have this unjust ruler over the land, but the person we're allied with ostensibly is seeking to overthrow that unjust rule.
Yeah, it's very Game of Thrones in a way.
And we're just the village town that's part of
that's really far away.
Yeah,
so maybe we're in kind of a region that is considered in rebellion, that's cut off from the capital. Or
well, for what the geography of the country is like, this is the prompt. Clearly the threat was greater than our ruler had anticipated. As the news spread, so did too the calls for soldiers to volunteer. They flocked from all over the land, streaming toward the capital to take their part in our ruler's armies. But even as the army was still forming, the threat was already moving across our lands. No matter how many of our people joined the fight, the best the forces seemed to be able to do was to hold the threat at an impasse.
Yeah.
I mean, we could call our land like pretty vast, and then we're like on the outskirts, which is why it takes so long for
Yeah.
things to get to us, even though we are kind of like, as you say, like the resupply, the waypoint for stuff.
It's probably for like maybe it's like
Yeah, I mean, we
expeditions
must-
like outside
sure
of the
there are-
land. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there must be many places that are kind of resupply and waste waypoints. If this is a big country, there are. We're not a famous place, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So again, feel free and adjust what I put in there. All right. Now, they took up their weapons. Many of our people had left long before them, foot soldiers and our rulers' armies. So few were left behind. We no longer would have any true defense. If our loved ones fell, if the threat moved past them, it would fall to us to defend our home. As we farewelled our heroes, we nursed close the hope that it would never come to that. So, how did our village farewell its heroes? So it's basically the barbarian, the paladin, and the cleric left.
Hmm. Would it be in like a boat farewell?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm wondering if they even left somewhat surreptitiously
Hmm.
under cover of darkness.
Interesting.
I like that. Yeah, they had to leave subtly because, I mean, this is not necessarily a celebration. This is more of a, you're
Yeah,
being called
Yeah.
to aid in the cause.
Yeah. And if it's like rifts opening, it doesn't feel it's not like a slow kind of like building of a threat. It could just be like the first rift open, people gathered like the armies and stuff, but then like more rifts kept opening, kind of just like almost sporadically. And
Yeah.
then especially since our village is like gets the news, like one of the last villages to get the news, then like I can see them like having to do like a really quick get up and go.
Yeah. So there wouldn't be any time for this. And knowing that they have gone out before on adventures, but this just seems really strange. This seems really unique compared to how it, the usual skirmishes would be. Okay, so that is our world. We can refer to that, as we go along, especially once we get through to the letters portion of the acts. As we try to make contact with our loved ones, having left, and then, see if we can reach them again. Okay, so introduction. Now, introduction is in which we bid our loved ones farewell as they leave on their journey. We are left behind. Not that this hasn't happened before, but it feels different this time. So we can describe this intro in a few different ways. You can describe a day spent with your loved one together before the threat. You can narrate a conversation shared between the two of you as you bid each other farewell, or describe what you do immediately after your adventurer leaves. So we'll each take a turn and go ahead and narrate that scene. So this way we can sort of see how it was before or after they left. All right. So let me see. I have to review like what I am. Yeah, you know what? I mean, if you guys don't have anything ready just yet, I mean, I can go.
Oh.
So again, Kailan is Rayna's twin. Rayna is the cleric, and we have trained in the same way throughout our lives. And when Rayna gets the call, she already has stuff packed, and I'm waiting outside of her room watching her do it because I already know that she's prepared. She's the one that wants to leave the village all the time, pretty much. She's always had wandering feet, and I don't see the sense of it. I don't understand why she doesn't want to remain home and serve the community. And Rayna will just look at me and say, I really don't know why you don't want to do this. I mean, you get to see so many different things and you get to meet so many different people. I mean, you are such a homebody. It's almost irritating. And Kailan will respond, at least I want to serve the community. I mean, we've trained for this. We know what's required, but you are going off to war, essentially, and I need to care for all these people that are here. I don't see the sense in what you're doing. And so this is a long-running argument between the two of them. And they're at an impasse. And Kailan will just go to Rayna, and as they always do, they have the ironic sibling twin hug before Rayna leaves to catch the boat.
I have an idea, and kind of like echoes that scene. We first see Quin just going around their general store, grabbing different materials. And you can see that this general store is incredibly well kept. Everything's very organized, and he grabs all the necessities. He measures out the 50-foot rope. He checks all the clasps in the pack. He grabs the pythons. And it's one of those scenes that, like, if you're a really organized person, it'll be really satisfying to watch because everything's in its place. Everything's laid out really well. And just like lays it all out. And then we see once he gets all of it together, he looks at the job he did, just incredibly satisfied with it. Then we see from the back of the general store, his brother walks out, full armor, spear strapped to his back, and I think that as a paladin who was like of a family of like store owners, he serves a god of like civilization and like making sure that like people are connected to each other and protecting those places that people have built for themselves, whether that be like a village like this, big city, or even like a small community in like a wilder area. It's all about just like places for people. And we see that on his breastplate. He walks up to Quin, just goes, looks like there's only one pack here, brother. Are you planning to go without me? And Quin goes, Corbett, no, come on, no, this is for you. You look ready as always. And we see Corbett like stare at Quin for a long moment and goes, like, claps him on the shoulder and says, I'll be right back, brother. Shouldn't take too long. There can't be that many rifts, right? And Quin goes, yeah, probably just like one or two. Corbett goes, are you sure you don't want to bring out a second pack just in case? And Quin just is like, no, it's fine. You can go ahead. Then they like do like a quick hug it out. Corbett grabs the materials and then leaves through the door. Quin does a slight wave as he does.
We see Adair and Kane. Kane is, a big, bulky, bearded man. He has like a huge war spear and, some, not exactly like a suit of armor, but some, pieces of protective clothing and gear. And Adair is kind of also helping him just get his equipment and things ready, and she is tucking in some herbs and some potions and all these kind of little odd bits of kind of curatives and those type of things. And she turns to him and she has a leather strap with a charm on it, and she says, and you should take this for protection, and reaches up to put it around his neck and clasp it behind the back of his neck. And he smiles down at her and says, something bluff and bold to the effect of, I don't need such trinkets, but thank you for the thought. And he makes his way off without too much ceremony. He is the type of person who comes and goes a lot anyway. He's someone who's settled in the town, I think, rather than being from there originally. And when he's not going to war, he makes his living on hunting expeditions or leading people as a guide. So he's often away. So parting from Adair is something they're both very used to, and this almost doesn't seem particularly out of the ordinary, although I think there's a bit of worry evident in Adair's body language. And after he's gone, we just see her kind of sigh and just get to work on chores around their house, around their kitchen, without much of a backward glance toward where he's gone.
I think as a parting scene for the intro, like it's not even dawn yet. It's like twilight hasn't passed, and the blue of the sky is still within some darkness and stars. And the three, the cleric, the paladin, and the barbarian, board a little boat. Well, not a little boat, but a big enough boat to have them and some gear being driven by a single captain to bring them down to the point where they would meet up with other adventurers for their mission. And I think that we see the silhouettes of them all standing on the deck, where the big forms of the armored Corbert and the protected Kane are flanking little Rayna, who is at least a head shorter than both of them, and her slender robed form, also with some armor, is watching the horizon along with them. And we move into Act 1, in which a month has passed since our loved ones left us behind. How has our home changed in their absence? So this is where we would develop scenes with each other. So the person calling for the scene would be introducing the location and the characters present. Like we can all be all together or pair up. And if there's a particular direction you want the scene to go, just let the other players know ahead of time. The scene ends when the player who frames it decides it has reached a conclusion. Okay. So this is an opportunity for us to develop the bonds, show what our bonds are like, and think about how can you move towards the answer to your character's question. Okay. So at least we get an opportunity to frame at least one scene ourselves. All right. See. I think that because Adair is my best friend, that I'm going to make myself available where in the month that they've been gone, there has been more call of, we've been getting more notice from the travelers that have used us as a waypoint that things are escalating where further away from our town, our village. And Kailan is concerned because Rayna's out there and she knows she's well trained, but she still has that feeling in the back of her mind that it may eventually get to the point where she's not going to be able to handle it. And she's not sure if she can depend on her fellow adventurers to keep her safe, especially Corbert, because Corbert tends to be a blockhead that she considers to be all about the glory of his god and not necessarily concerned about the people that are helping him do it. And she will make a point to be available to any villagers that need counseling or comfort. And she is disturbed by the stories that she hears coming through the boat traffic. And she will want to speak with Adair to see how she's doing and then just make sure that she's doing okay. I think Kailan will visit you in your home, Adair. What do you think? I mean, do you have a routine? Do you think you're...
Very much not, I think. Adair is kind of, makes her living doing odd chores around the village. So she's often out and about at odd hours and, doesn't have a regular routine at all. Can be frustratingly difficult to pin down sometimes. And I think when Kailan arrives at her home, she has to wait a little while, and then Adair comes walking down the lane, coming back from somewhere, and sees Kailan at the. I'm sure Kailan is allowed in the house. I'm picturing, this is not the kind of town where people tend to keep or certainly I don't think Adair keeps a locked door, particularly, it's, so Kailan can probably wait inside. And yeah, so Adair would open the door and find her there in the kind of kitchen living room. I'd say, "Oh, Kailan, I didn't expect to see you. I've just been out for a little stroll. How are you?"
I okay, I think. Before you've come in, I mean, she knows that you kind of take your little jaunts, and then she will actually make some tea or something from your stores to have something ready by the time you get back. And she just kind of looks you up and down, and just, from her seat at the table, come here. You need to settle back. Are you feeling a little worried about Kane?
Oh, I'm sure he's ready for whatever stands in his way. He's always been a capable sort.
True. I mean, if anything, I mean, I'm sure Rayna can patch him up. That is what she does, and they've worked together before, so I'm at least happy to see that they are together. I think for a while they're on this mission. How? I mean, honestly, how have you been? I mean, things have changed a little bit since hearing the news about this mission that they're on.
Well, you know me, I keep busy. And how are you? It must be difficult with your twin gone. You two have spent so much of your life together. It feels to me that Kane is almost never here.
Is that concerning?
Oh no, I'm used to it. The life he leads is the life he leads.
And as is for Rayna as well. I mean, it's almost as if she jumps at the chance to just go off and do, well, adventure. I mean, she could do so much good here. I mean, I try. I do my best. And then at this point, when she's saying that, it's like she gets a little wince in her face and involuntarily clutches her side.
What is it? Are you hurt?
No, it's fine. Just a little pain. I might have eaten something that did not sit well with me. I should know better than to just grub around when I'm on my rounds. I should settle back and get at least some wholesome rations from Quin's store.
Come sit. Let me make some tea.
Kailan will wave at the tray that she's already put on the table. You
Oh.
do know that I know to wait for you.
Oh, perfect. Well, sit. Come, drink some tea. It will make your stomach feel better.
Yes. I don't think it's any kind of sympathetic pain. I mean, I'm hoping she's not experiencing anything like this. Meaning Rayna, of course.
Of course, twins do experience such things.
It's a bit of a wives' tale. I mean, not necessarily true. I mean, I always
There-
find it ironic that we can heal so many people, but there's been difficulty in being able to heal ourselves.
Heal yourselves in what way?
Uh, nothing. I speak wildly.
No, come, you can tell me.
And she looks at you while sipping her mug. I know I can. I know, but it's nothing. It really is nothing. Just probably overwork as well. Again, just making my rounds, making sure everyone is hale and hearty to do their work for the day. At some point, I should stop off at Quin's and get some more supplies. I have been trying to feed some of the refugees that have come into the village, and they're wearing down my stores. I should definitely fill them up again. Yes.
Yes, I wonder how the fishing catch has been. The rains have not let up, so I'm sure there must be a good store.
Are you doing okay here? Do you have enough? Do you need help?
Oh, I can manage. I keep busy. I have my little chores I do.
If you need to, at any point, please stop by the chapel. I mean, not that I consider you needing any you know, mystical help, in any way. I would not do that to you. But I mean, if you do want some company, then please, be sure to join me. At least for a little while, you'll be able to see others. You won't be stuck here in this little house.
Oh, it feels like I'm almost never here.
Perhaps not. And then she motions for you to drink some of the tea. And then we can close that scene out.
I guess probably a scene of just like someone visiting the general store would probably be good. It could be, yeah, it could be just one of you or both of you, whoever you think would like come to the store.
I mean, it could be Kailan, because she was specifically saying that
Mhm.
she wanted to fulfill the stores in the chapel for the refugees. But it could also be both of us, because Kailan wants to drag Adair out of the damn house.
Mhm.
Do you think Adair would go on her own?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she and Kailan. I mean, she and Quin know each other.
Okay.
Pretty well.
I think it would be an interesting scene to see how Quin knows how Adair makes her money.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. We could probably like either just like see that in the scene in some way. Like how, just so I know, like how does Adair make her money? So I know like
Adair,
Mm-hmm.
trades in charms and potions and
Mm-hmm.
Some of the less legitimate spiritual services that
Mm-hmm.
that perhaps Kailan would not approve of. So she'll trade with the merchants that pass through and with members of the village, and I think she probably even sells things to Quin's store.
I was thinking,
I was gonna say that,
gathers,
or you would be in like out in the alleys. In the back.
right? Yeah. She gathers. I think when
Mm-hmm. Kailan
encountered her just now, she was back from like gathering mushrooms in the woods.
Yeah.
She's has a little bit of a side hustle in these type of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she does. Yeah. She kind of thinks that Kailan would not approve, or that Kailan would feel she's undermining her legitimate kind of.
Okay. Then you two come upon the village general store. It's been like a couple generations now of Quin's family like running this place. It's not too big, made out of, it's like a wood building. There's like this very well-worn sign with that says Radabah's riches and sundries, with the holy symbol of Radabah like emblazoned on it. And you all just hear slight humming from inside as you like open the door, like a bell rings as you do, and you see Quin, as he's like one of those people that when you see him not behind a counter and when you actually see his legs, it's weird. Like he's just always behind the store register as a person. And when you come in, he goes, "Oh, hey, welcome to Radabah's riches and sundries. How may I help you?" And you've heard that phrase all throughout your life. Like he doesn't need to say it because you guys live here, but he does every time.
And Kailan will make a comment about that, as she always does. Do you have to say that every single time? We know this, right? I mean, I could probably recite it with you as you're saying it.
You are my customers, and everyone deserves a warm welcome into the store. That's what mom and dad always said.
And that is why I like you as the better sibling. And she will go to you and give you, if you want, a hug.
Yes, of course.
And she'll gesture to the bags that she's brought. It's like, I need to refill some stores of your rations for the chapel. There's been an influx of refugees recently, and of course, I've been running low. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and start going through your shelves.
Yeah. And because you guys been here so often, it's not obvious, but there is like a slight shift in the like the shelving or like the putting of the stuff. There is a bit more like medical supplies. There is a bit more like hunting tools here and there. like it's not like there's like just swords hanging off the walls now, but the store seems to shift into like more dangerous times in their wares. And as you start like filling in the bags with like the resupplies, Quin just sees Adair and just goes, "Oh, Adair, been meaning to tell you, it's that delivery you wanted. It's I'll drop it off later
Oh,
today."
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a bit slower as of late, but it should be coming in soon.
Of course, I understand.
Well, it seems like we always, whenever they leave, we always meet up like this. What was it last time? Some sort of giant last time we did this. It's a bit, yeah, a bit crazy what they always get up to, the stories we hear about them.
Yes. Who knows? I'm just glad we're far away from it all.
Yeah, really nice.
As Kailan is like, filling up her bags, she starts noticing in the corner that, there's like almost a rack of weapons. And this isn't the normal rack of weapons. It's like, how modern times we have the seasonal gear and all this kind of stuff. It's almost like you've increased the number of pool noodles, but in this case it's the spears. It's the spears and the swords. It's like she kind of comments over her shoulder to you, Quin. It's like, Quin, what is this? Did Corbett bring out all of his gear before he left? What's this?
Yeah, you know how they are. They always pick up more equipment than they need, especially Corbett. He kind of he just loves just grabbing random things on adventurers. I just I just needed to get rid of them. That's why they're out here.
Does he know that you're selling these? And she has a very, very mischievous grin on her face.
Yeah. The thing is, whenever he comes back, he doesn't even remember he took these things. Yeah, it's a nice extra surplus to have, and people are the support that like the demand is there for these things. But hey, if I don't sell off all the random things Corbett picks up, I wouldn't have a place to sleep back there, honestly. He's a strong guy. He carries a lot of things.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to see it's a brisk business, but it's a big change from how it was.
Yeah.
And she reaches out to just kind of touch one of the spears. It's like not as rusted or broken down looking.
Yeah, all of them look very well kept.
Yeah. And as she's doing that, she kind of grasps one suddenly because she gets another look of pain across her face. But she's facing away from you too, so yeah. I don't think you see it. Okay. Actually, do you have any staves available?
Staves?
Yes. I mean, I know Corbett loved his sharp, pointy things.
Yeah.
But I mean, just in case for the chapel, something that is not bladed.
Well, we have a lot of spears in stock right now.
Right. Should I just break off the head?
No. if I really had to, I guess I could sell you this one. And he pulls out like a walking stick.
It's
And
fine.
yeah, this is the last one. So,
It's
and
perfectly fine. Yes.
if you really want it, it's gonna be a little bit pricey, but it's known you all my life, so I guess I could do away with the markup. But just like,
How about it?
hey,
How about an even trade? I
mhm,
heal you the next time that
that's
Corbett puts you in a headlock, and then you won't have to worry about it.
all right. Yeah, and he puts just like a regular walking stick slash like stave on the counter. Um, and he goes, eh, he mentions like, yeah, and yeah, I got like last time me and Corbett got into it. Um, like yeah, you healed me up really well. You can take this one for free on the house.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Hey, I have to haggle with so many adventurers.
Yes.
So it's nice just to be able to just like have an easy um sale or like exchange here. I never understand it. Those they have all the resources they need. I don't get why they still have the need to haggle, honestly. I mean, it's fun. I like the back and forth, but sometimes it's just nice.
You have to wonder if they squabble this much when they find these treasures.
Yeah, Corbett definitely does.
Your brother is an ass, just so you know.
Yeah.
I almost worry that he's influencing Rayna a little too much.
I'm pretty sure if Rayna wasn't there, he would be much worse.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, and she kind of grits her teeth at this,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that Corbett has any designs on Rayna?
On Rayna?
She was talking weirdly the last time she came back. And ugh, as much as it would be lovely to be related to you.
Mm-hmm. You get the family discount. It's pretty nice.
But it's Corbett.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of layers to good old brother. The first couple
Good
aren't
Liz?
the first couple aren't. It's like an onion, but like you're not sure if there's like I know about them,
Onions.
but we came from the same place. So
That's true. But
like
onions
hey,
make you cry.
yeah.
And they smell.
But um like I can only speak from my experience. Corbett, like outwardly, kind of the worst. Inwardly, most of the time, also kind of the worst. But just a bit deeper, and there's something there.
You're not helping.
Hey,
She
I don't know. He's my brother. I can't like.
and it's my sister.
Yeah. What's Adair doing right now as the squabbling happens?
Is she listening, or she's just kind of like
She's listening with a wry little smile on her face, I think, and just amused by the goings on, particularly by Kailan's reaction to the possibility of being related to Corbett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Presumably, if Kailan is Adair's best friend, are we all kind of just like similar in age
I would
then,
say so. I mean,
right?
like, it would have to be where it, like,
Yeah.
we would all be similar in age.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Quinn would just at some point in like in like a squabble where like people he just like starts just like laughing. And goes, it's so funny how even the older we get, we still, it still feels like before when we didn't have a store or people to take care of. And I mean, we all knew that Corbett had a thing for Rayna, even if he was just pulling her hair back then. But I don't know.
I'm just glad he didn't get us mixed up. Because
He-
if he did that to me, he would be flat on his back with my foot in his face.
But to be fair, it was funny when you guys confused him all the time when we were growing up.
Yes. That lost its gloss after a while.
Yeah.
Because then he started becoming interested in Rayna.
Yeah.
And I did not want him interested in me.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, are you sure it's Rayna he's interested in? You two are so alike.
Ah!
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. And then she turns away from you and like starts putting all the stuff on the counter to be tallied up. Absolutely not. Ugh. And she just looks at you, Adair, with a look of, are you kidding me? And she says as she's emptying out her bags, would you have gone off on these adventures if you didn't have to worry about the store?
Me?
Yes.
I just really like it here.
Me too.
I don't know. I mean, we had good times going out, like doing stuff, going on adventures as kids, but I really just like coming home and fixing everything up. Yeah. And maybe at this point, like a couple more customers come in and everyone hears again. Welcome to Radabaz Riches and Sundries. How may I help you? And yeah, I think that's a good scene to end it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rob, do you have a scene you want since me and Mads like framed one up?
I'm wondering if a scene where, just a brief one maybe, where I don't know where I'm going with it exactly, but with where Adair is down at the docks, where there's a couple of barges moored there, and she's doing business with the barge crews, and maybe Adair is also. I'm sorry, not Adair. Quin is also there, off supervising some loading or unloading of these barges, and I'm guessing he has some staff to kind of some laborers that kind of do the fetching and carrying of those kind of things, and
and I think we like if we're I really like this idea that we both have this like side business, and like Quin doesn't deal as well with like the rough customers, but Quin's a numbers guy. So like he's like your numbers guy. And just goes to you and just goes, all right, we have this much supply left. A lot of people are really worried out there, so there's a lot of demand. I don't ask you this every time, but these are some pretty rough customers. You ready to do this?
I'm used to them. They're harmless enough.
Why is it that one of them always has like that one like gold tooth like right here? Like there's always one.
And Adair just kind of gives a little laugh and says, well, some people, remember, some of us did not grow up in the richest family in the town with a thriving business.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever tell Kane about this?
I'm not sure Kailan would approve of this. She is, after all, in the legitimate business of healing and spiritual advice.
Yeah. Have you told does Kane know that you do this on the side?
Oh, of course. He even brings me things back from his expeditions that I can use as ingredients.
Yeah.
He's quite a useful fellow. He's surprisingly knowledgeable about plants and animals and the ways of the wild.
Yeah.
To look at him, you wouldn't think so.
No. I get that sense from Kane. I 100% know Corbett isn't he on a battlefield, he like sure footing. In the wilds, he couldn't find a gnarled root if it was right in front of him. Like he doesn't do well out there.
Let's hope he doesn't trip over it when he's facing down an enemy.
Yeah. God. Like he's just so. I never could understand just how much sheer confidence could carry a man forward, but my brother always proves me wrong.
Yes, but confidence can be misplaced.
Yeah, I mean that's why I feel comforted that Rayna and Kane are there. Worst comes to worst.
Well, I don't know that you should look at Kane as a steadying influence, but Rayna perhaps.
Well, yeah, I like knowing that there's someone there back to back with my brother when it's needed. And there's someone there to patch them up when they get stabbed, probably. I never knew this business of ours would last this long.
It certainly has always seemed to be thriving to me.
Yeah. Gosh.
You're lucky to have such a steady Steady life. Something you can rely on.
Hey, it's not that steady. I am being dragged to do this too, which is exciting, but like, yeah, no, no one really suspects the religious general store, so works out. And what's life without a little bit of excitement? We're a small village. No one is really gonna care, honestly.
And yeah, Adair just has kind of a wry smile, looking away.
Yeah. Corbert is a bit too much of a traditionalist in the church of Radabah. But civilization, there's many different parts of it. Even the parts you don't really see as often.
I think civilization in its way is just another part of nature. Everything is tied together.
All right. Well, I think I hear their very large boots and just so many daggers. They carry so many daggers. God, okay. All right. Do I look intimidating?
You look perfectly businesslike.
All right. Good. You want to play out the scene, Rob, or do you think that's a good spot?
I think that's a good spot to leave it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, before we get to the interlude section of the letters, this would be the time that we would close out Act 1 with strength and weakness checks. That's a little mechanic in the game that has an effect on how things end for the climax of our village. So we would go around and assess each other in how they appeared in their scene or scenes. And then we would mark off the appropriate checkbox in our playbook. Okay. So let's go to Adair first. So how do we think that Adair came across in their scenes?
And we each say one, right?
We each say one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Including
yourself, like you would rate yourself in your scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think she came off as strong to me because like the straightforward way it feels like to play Adair is kind of just the just the wife of the barbarian, but like now we learn that like that Kane is actually like helping out with the business and she's kind of just like the storefront for it. And it's just like now it sounds like when Kane goes away, it just sounds like he's like running errands to get stuff for Adair. So I kind of like that.
I mean, I consider her strong as well because she's just so cute.
Yeah.
Like, thinking it's like, no, she's the retiring little one that's like, left at home and he's just like stomping off for his adventures. But no, she's got something going on.
Yeah.
She's got a few things going on, evidently.
So funny.
Rob, how do you rate Adair?
Yeah, I think I'd go with strong. She has her insecurities, and I think Kane kind of helps with how she feels about that. He's a reassurance to her, but I think she's quite self-reliant. Yeah, and has had to be. And yeah.
Okay. All right, so Quin, I want to say that, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be terrible because it's like, I'm just rating everybody as strong, because he has a personality of his own, even though it's like he's a character that could easily be overshadowed by his brother. But no, I mean, like, he's worked out what he likes. He's settled into the business, although he might still have designs on thinking about things that he could have been if he didn't have to. But I mean, he's still a strong character in his own way. He doesn't have to be the strong one because his brother does that, but to the point of arrogance. And yeah, I really like Quin, so I'm gonna say strong.
Yeah, I like Quin. I'm gonna balance it out with a weak though.
Yeah.
But it's not a criticism, but
No.
I think it's that you're right to say he has his own personality, but I think he still feels himself. He lacks that self-confidence, which is interesting, that he's intimidated by these rough barge crews, and he's perfectly capable, but just doesn't necessarily know it or believe it.
Yeah. I think just because I don't think he really showed, like, he was kind of just the friendly general store owner with like a side business on the side. Like there's no like overt sign of weakness, so I'll just do like strong for now, just to balance out. Like I like the idea that like he, like, as much as his brother is like the cool paladin, he's just like, yeah, that's my dumb jock of a brother. So
Love it. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go strength right now, because like he's not really overshadowed by him. He's just like, hey, that's just he's just real good at football. Like
meathead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
And then Kailan.
Kailan. I think I'm going to go with a strong, because she shows this kind of, I think there's a nurturing side to her that, she was, I don't think she feels bad about being the one who stays and takes her responsibility seriously, and is not the adventurous gallivanting off across the world type. But I didn't get the impression that she kind of considers herself weak for that. And she, she showed concern for Adair, and she showed that kind of caring, nurturing side of herself that I would consider strong. Yeah.
I would say, just because I really like that dynamic of just like she's still protecting her sister from like the guy she doesn't like, and that like just reminds me of my sister. So I'll say strong. It's just like a classic sisterly thing to do.
Even more so the twin thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Ew.
Yeah.
No, it's great. No, I mean, she really would like, to be related to Quin, but oh God, why?
Yeah.
But I mean, I hate judging myself. We know how I feel about self-assessments. I want to say weak, and this is for a weird reason. It's because she is suffering from something and she doesn't know how to say it. Because she's nurturing to everyone else, she doesn't know how to do that for herself. So, I mean, like, she is sick, but she won't say. And she won't tell her best friend that she's sick. And yeah, that's going to come into play later, I'm sure. All right. So before we head into letters and Act 2, I want to take a 5-minute break at least, and then we're gonna go into the interlude of letters. All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pause the recording and then 5 minutes. So that'll be 47 on my watch. Yep. Okay. So we've reached the section called letters. A messenger arrives. She claims she has the ability to get some letters to your loved ones. So this is our opportunity to narrate a short individual scene, either writing a letter to our adventurer in question or deciding not to and narrating our thoughts about that. So I can go ahead and start. So Kailan sits down. It's been a while, obviously, and she'll kind of write about a little day-to-day stuff to Rayna, who, from previous times before when Rayna's been on adventures, she's really not been concerned about the day-to-day. She knows that she can depend on her twin to get things done, keep the chapel going, and basically tend to the needs of the villagers. And while that's great, there's also a little bit of resentment on Kailan's side. And it kind of comes out when she writes her letter to Rayna, saying, "Dear Rayna, I hope you're having a wonderful time tending to Corbert's usual stab wounds and Kane's usual escapades, getting into trouble and possibly burning his hair for yet the 50th time. We're doing fine here. The chapel is tootling along as usual, and I'm keeping the supplies up for the refugees. There seems to be many of them coming through now, and it's a little concerning. I'm hoping you are well, and that whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you're keeping yourself as safe as possible and letting the bigger, bulkier folks get the job done, and then you can be behind and healing them when they come back from their mission. Take care of yourself. I do love you. Kailan."
I think Quin will also write a letter, and I think this is when we learn um that I think Quin's the older brother, not by much, but it's a bit older. And the letter will just go, "Hey, little brother, um, hope hope you're doing well. Store's fine. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. Just a heads up. I know you have this whole thing planned. You've talked about it at length. Just, give it some thought. There might be some pushback, but I, for the most part, support your not dumb decisions. You've given this, you seem to have put some more effort and thought than usual at this. So just a heads up. In case you're wondering, yes, I am still doing my exercises, brother. Even though you're not around, so it's not as extensive. Make sure you don't strain yourself again when you're holding your spear. I understand that battle can get a little hectic, but make sure to maintain proper form and not to overextend. All right, brother? You know you always do that. See you again soon. That's the end of the letter.
Yeah, I guess Adair will write a brief note to Kane, and yeah, just kind of, I hope you're keeping safe. Don't do anything too rash. I know what you're doing is important, but it's also important that you take care as well. And remember, the amulet I gave you will help protect you. Keep it with you. And then hurry back. And it's kind of that simple, you know, just a brief little note.
And the messenger collects all of our letters and missives and then bundles them up in her bag, and she will take the next boat out to be able to deliver them. We enter into Act 2. This is where we would... Let's see. Okay. So Act 2 is 1 month has passed since we wrote to our loved ones. What news of them might we be fortunate enough to hear? And this is where we as players would provide one rumor about an adventurer, the adventurer related to another character, not about the one that we're related to. So let's go round and provide a rumor. What do we hear about blah blah? So,
I have an idea that Rayna is making a name for herself. She's become almost like a spiritual symbol for the faction that you know they're serving. She is a figurehead, almost like a Joan of Arc type figure, you know. But you know, she has this bravery, but she's also a woman of faith and spiritual guidance. So she's become kind of famous.
I have a rumor about Kane. I think Kane has a title along the lines of like Kane the Unfallen. Normally, but recently, whatever they've been fighting, there was one really hard battle where like Rayna ran out of magic, like Kane went down, and that was rough to see. for like the people there, because like as long as Kane, like normal as Kane has just like left in him, like the ferocity will just like keep going. But he like legitimately like fell down, and Corbett and Rayna had to work together to just like drag him out of the situation. And
Kailan's a little bit pleased to hear that Corbett is rumored to be interested in another adventurer that's on this trip, this mission, and doesn't seem to be paying as much attention to Rayna. So, I mean, she's very happy to hear that that Corbert's been fascinated about this this messenger rogue that he's met on this mission, and is paying her some attention. All right, so again, same as before. Each of us take a turn in framing up a scene, introducing the location and who's present, and the scene ends when the player who frames it decides it has reached a conclusion. Okay? So is there anything, excuse me, that we want to frame up based on the rumors that we have heard?
Yeah, I feel like Kailan would come to check in on Adair when she hears that Kane has been hurt. Just trying to think of a good location that's a little different.
What if Kailan comes upon you when you're trying to conduct business at the docks?
Yeah, I was
going,
thinking, yeah.
Where? What? What's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she's even, Adair's there with kind of a basket of kind of, charms and potions and teas and that kind of things, and standing at the docks, and a few, occasionally someone will come by and buy something from her or talk to her for a moment.
Yeah. I think it's something that Kaylin's on her way from some rounds that she's been making with somebody else in the village, like probably one of the fishermen, and she sees you, Adair, with a frown on her face. Like, she comes over to you and says, "Adair, what are you doing here?"
The last thing the fisherman says is just like, so all night. Kind of like ignoring that like Caitlin has walked up. He's just like holding this potion you gave him. It's like, is Rob still here? Rob. Oh, okay.
Picking up a little bit.
Yeah. If you said something, we didn't hear it.
Yeah, so no, I didn't. I was just trying to hear what you two were saying because it was breaking. Yeah, so I think as as Adair sees Kane approaching, she kind of, not surreptitiously, not anxiously, but she just kind of pulls there's like a blanket that she pulls across the basket she's carrying, and turns as if to walk away from the docks, and oh, Kailan, hello.
Did you leave your customer?
How are you? It's
Paul
unusual
was,
you found him.
Paul
Oh,
was
and I think she was just finishing up.
Yeah.
okay. Right.
It was just, and then the customer would just be like, "All right, fine. Thank you."
Now, does Adair like take Kailan, not forcibly, but like, pointedly by the arm to steer her away from the docks? Or is she?
I think she just kind of starts immediately launching into a discussion of, immediately stops talking about what she's heard about Rayna.
Yes, I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, just a spiritual symbol. I mean, that's just hard to process. But what were you doing back there? What's in your basket?
I was just bringing some things to the boat cruise. You know that I make teas, and I just have to make sure that there's a little money coming in. I'm also doing some odd jobs for some of the people around the docks.
Odd jobs. I mean,
Yes, the usual thing. I cook, I clean, I do laundry.
oh, okay. Did you need help? I mean, can provide at the chapel. I mean, you don't have to feel like you're not being supported while Kane's not here.
Oh no, I can put a roof over my head, and I can take care of myself otherwise.
Okay, I mean, you would tell me if you were not doing okay, would you?
Of course. It would be the first person I would come to.
That's lovely to hear. And I don't mind you coming to visit. Might be busy, but I mean, I don't mind if you want to accompany me on my rounds.
Are you busy? Do you find people who are in more need of spiritual guidance during these times?
Well, I mean, I wanted to see you. I mean, I was concerned when I heard about Kane.
Yes, it seems. At least he's still alive.
Yes, but I'm sure it's a bit of a blow that he, well, I mean, didn't meet up to his namesake, I suppose. I mean, probably a very jarring circumstance that he actually did fall. And, I mean, as popular as Rayna is now, I mean, for the fact that she ran out of magic and she wasn't able to heal him right away, that is concerning. It makes me wonder what volume of injury there has been for these battles. I told her she should just stay behind and well, I guess they can't help but put themselves in danger, including my sister.
You worry about her, don't you?
I do. I mean, she was always the one that would try to climb the highest trees or ford the river and see what could be found. You know, she was the one that tried to catch that trout and she almost got swept away. She was an adventurer in the beginning.
That sounds like her, yes.
Ugh, yes. But I worry that she's not going to be fulfilling her end of the bargain by supporting and healing her companions.
Well, it seems this role she has found herself in is everything she always wanted. To be a leader.
It is. It is.
And I'm
As
sure
she's thinking upon this.
I'm sure she wouldn't have found herself in that position if she wasn't taking her responsibility seriously.
True, but I'm wondering if she's being overwhelmed if the duties are increasing at an alarming rate. And this is when you
Yes.
notice that now Kailan is walking with this walking stick, this staff that she's gotten from Quin, and she's leaning on it heavily. And she's starting to breathe a little deeper.
Kailan, are you quite all right? Have you hurt yourself?
Maybe I guess it's overwork on my part as well. I've been not feeling well. And
How so?
just I haven't been able to eat well. I mean, I can only have a little before I cannot eat anymore. And I've been feeling tired. But again, it just could be overwork. I mean, there are again many that come to the chapel and seek solace or seek guidance or even seek some resources that I can provide in a meager manner.
You mustn't neglect yourself, though.
I don't think I am, but it wouldn't be the first time that I've tried to serve and not serve myself. So
Why don't you come with me? We can go back to my house. I'll make some tea. We can sit, you can rest. And you can tell me more about what ails you. You worry me, Kailan.
I guess I can. I think I have the time. The acolytes are trained in at least providing the basic needs. So, that might be good. Maybe some tea and a sit down would be welcome at this point. And she smiles at you and will follow you home if that's where you're headed.
And where is it that it hurts, Kailan?
My side. Just, it's fine. I mean,
I remember when you came to me once before and you were hurting there, and it is still troubling you.
I say a little blessing when I can. Just enough to keep the discomfort at bay. I need to save my strength for those that come and seek my healing services. I can't do a full healing on myself.
Perhaps you will let me help you.
And what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not entirely ignorant of injuries to the body and the soul. Perhaps I can take a look at where the pain is and see if there's something I can do.
A little bit of your herbal magic.
What harm could it do, Kailan?
Maybe it'll be time to try other things. Sure. And she will lean a little bit more heavily on her staff as she walks alongside you to go back to your house.
Yeah, I think that feels like a good cut.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to do this, but I do want to do this. I want to. I want to have Kailan like go over to Quin and just be like all excited about
Yeah.
Corbett paying
I mean-
attention to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this happens like maybe a few hours after she's over at Adair's getting some some herbal ministrations and feeling a little better. I mean, just not feeling the pain in her side as much anymore, and she's able to walk straighter to Quin's store. She still needs the walking stick though. And she stomps in, and little bell rings, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Quin's gonna give the greeting.
He says the thing.
Yep, he says the thing. It's like, just wanted to come in. That one of the messengers came back, or at least somebody came back and said there was a rumor that Corbert was interested in one of the messengers, one of the couriers or something from the current mission. I think it's wonderful. I mean, Rayna's getting more spiritual attention, or however they put it, I forget. But, I mean, she's popular or whatever, and she doesn't have to worry about Corbett hanging over her. Ugh. Like some sort of strange bird or predator.
I think this is the first time that like Quinn has heard that Corbett, like there's rumors that Corbett is like showing interest in someone else. And because he knows like the plan, like internally, like rolling his eye, like God damn brother. Of course. There was you had a whole thing written, and like outside Quinn's like, oh really? Yeah. Corbett, and it's kind of like whenever the new ships come by, and it's like a new girl catches his eye, he kind of just forgets everything he has been really thinking about up to that point. Good old Corbett. Good old Corbett. Like
you
Quin is
say
already
anything?
Quin is already formulating like the next letter he has in his like that he has to send now. Um,
I mean, but like Kaylin's just like leaning on her staff with
Yeah.
both hands and just like grinning from ear to ear.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, this is such great news.
hmm Yeah.
She could do so much better. I mean, granted, I mean,
No, the thing is,
he
I
would do
agree.
thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I would love for us to be related,
Yeah.
but not like that. Oh my
Mhm,
god.
mhm.
But just out of curiosity, were you ever interested in Rayna?
Rayna? Um, no, because there's a whole brother thing. Of like I knew, like he was slightly interested.
You
Or
say that to Kaylin?
I think so. I don't think Quinn would ever, because like growing up, it was clear that Corbett like pulled her hair, was just like always there for some reason when she was walking by somewhere. So like it's not Corbett isn't the most subtle person in the world. But it could have just been like a childhood crush sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, he was just like, yeah, he had like a bit of a crush. So I just never had the opportunity to think about Rayna in that way, because um, Corbett would never like admit it, but like he's a bit of a like like if I ever told him that like I was also like slightly as interested, he would just like whine, just be like, no, but I really like her. It's come on, brother.
Why would you worry about that? I mean,
Have you
it's how
seen
you feel.
Have you seen him whine? It's really pathetic.
He's already pathetic.
Yeah, it's not a good sight. I don't like to see it.
No.
As much as he is a bit pompous when he puts on that armor and in front of men, that's the preferred way of seeing my brother. Like
You're worth two of him, Quinn. Just so you know. I mean,
uh,
in or out of that armor.
yeah. I think as you like say that, Quinn, there's like a slight like look into the distance as you say like you're a bit better or like you're worth more than him. And Quinn will just go, hey, um Corbett usually they're usually back by at some point to help me out with this, but there's um if you could just and he kind of like turns around and there's like you can see there's like bandaging on like the bottom on his like back right shoulder, and he just goes, I just can't like reach that spot. And like Quinn, now that you think about it, doesn't really come get healed like very often. And if anything, it's usually like one of the acolytes that like get to him. You haven't really had the opportunity to. And like you can see that there's still some like slight bleeding from the bandage. Like it wasn't like treated. Like
She's horrified. She's reaching out with one hand and the other hand is still clutching the staff. What happened here? Why didn't you come to me?
um um I was in the woods and you know, it's gathering things store. And there, there's just every now and then there's like a creature that gets too close. Usually we have Kane or Corbert or one of the other like people who usually handles this who are away. It's not the biggest wound, but I was in the area, and yeah, I just swung a little wide. Yeah.
I can't believe you let it go. I mean, you should have come immediately to the chapel and I would have taken care of this.
I don't know. I've usually been able to just like handle this sort of thing. But yeah, and he kind of just like gets from like comes around from the counter and just like pulls like his tunic down a little bit. Like his like he usually wears very like loose fitting tunics.
Right.
And you can see that surprisingly he's a lot more like toned and muscular than you would expect for a man that just organizes wares all day.
And she makes a comment about it. It's like, this is a lot more than I would have expected from someone who supposedly runs the store. Have you been practicing?
He kind of just like hesitates, and like the cut is like a lot worse than just like
and she says that. She says, this is a lot. This is deeper than expected. What have you been doing?
He just, well, yeah, Corbett likes to give me like exercises to do. Says that like if he's not around, I should be able to take care of myself.
Against bears? Because that's what it almost looks like back here.
It wasn't a bear per se. It was a lot. We don't usually see this kind of creature near our village. We're pretty far away. I was actually really surprised when I saw it. Usually, these are the kind of things I only hear Corbett like about when he's one of those like drunken nights, like a bear. He's about to say like a bear would have been a bear would have it just took me by surprise.
Yes, evidently. She will remove the bandage as much as she dares without like, tearing the wound. Yeah. And she will place a hand directly on it. And then because you're not facing her, and the camera will see that her hand starts to glow blue and then green as she applies some healing magic to it. But as she's doing so, it's like you don't see that she's gripping the staff even more tightly. And she starts to sweat a little bit. And her knees buckle as she's using her magic for you.
Yeah. And you can see that this are the kind of build of someone who probably practices like every day. Like for like years, like growing up, like you would expect Corbett to have this sort of build, but like Quin is like behind the counter. Like these are like well practiced, like purposeful, just like muscles, not just like someone in shape. And he goes, "Don't tell Corbett this, but like, I think it's because he's such like a passionate person, but his magic kind of like burns when he uses it. Like the wound is like gets really hot, and it's not the most pleasant. Um,
I close the wound right now. You will be fine. It is not bleeding anymore.
yeah, you and your sister's magic always felt so much nicer. Like he, even when he casts magic, you can feel like he's showing off. You know, like it's flashier than it needs to be.
Ugh. That's why I can't. Only one of the reasons why I can't stand him.
You were
Stupid
so mad when he first, like when we first found out that he could cast magic. That was so funny.
It is not funny.
Like it's as if he didn't have anything else to feed his ego, and now he could heal wounds. So funny.
And he does it in the most bombastic
Yeah.
way. He can't just be, oh, I'm going to touch you and heal the wound. He has to be, and therefore I
Yeah.
heal thy wound.
Yeah, the
Are
prayer
you kidding
the
me?
prayer is really loud.
Oh my god. Why?
It changes every time too. It's so funny. I mean,
I don't recall the god of connection and protection to be allowed. Well, I will reserve my stronger language
yeah,
for a different time over some ale.
it's that last layer that like the magic comes from, not the outside ones. If anything, I feel like those get in the way. But yeah,
Always has to show off, and it's
it
ridiculous.
always does.
And she says under her breath, I don't know why Rayna loves that. Ugh.
It's like I don't like he's not really a bad boy per se. It's more just like he's just like he has a lot of similarities to like a really friendly and like golden retriever. Um, and you know, some people just really love that breed.
But I like golden retrievers.
Okay, well,
He is bad at being good, if that's
yeah,
possible.
he's like a golden retriever that still isn't house trained, you know? Like you love them, but
She laughs at that.
like
While still holding on to her staff, she's like,
Yeah.
that's the best description I've heard of him all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Well,
It's wonderful that he's paying attention to that person, whatever.
yeah.
So,
Well, I guess that since you healed my wound, would you like another free item from the store?
I would like to actually get some information. Why are you doing this? Are you planning on something?
I plan to stay here. And I think you can tell that he's telling the truth. Like, at least to him, he plans to stay here. Or like he really wants to stay here. For as long as I can. I want to stay here. I plan to stay here.
Do you think the situation out there is going to be worse? Is that one of the reasons why?
I have a lot of confidence for our loved ones. A lot of confidence in them. But there's new refugees just keep coming in,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel like it's getting better right now.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you might have looked away at that point, in which case she has gripped her staff again with both hands. And underneath her robes, like, you don't see that her knees have buckled a little bit more. And she feels the pain coming back. And we can close out that scene.
Yeah. Think for a scene, just to build a little bit on like the previous one. It might. This is gonna. It might be like a much more like aggressively framed scene. But I think it's with Quin and Adair, and I like the idea that there was. It's probably like nighttime. The docks are a bit more a bit emptier, or at least this part of the docks is empty for Quin and Adair. And I have a question. If, say, a deal between Quin, Adair, and whoever they are working with gone awry, like things got a bit too like aggressive on both ends, maybe because like the people are like, even the more unsavory parts of this world are also like getting desperate in these times. Can Adair like fight? Like, how's her fighting skills and abilities?
I think she's she has that kind of underneath the kind of retiring exterior. She has a toughness to her, and I'm sure she carries a knife.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she would be, a fight to the death type person, but she would be able to. She would probably be not terrible at talking her way out of the situation with, and defending herself a bit enough that she could escape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or summon help or something.
Yeah. And I think we see that you get like accosted by like one of the men there, and you're able to just like pull out a knife, like slash at them and like start like running away. But like you can see that one of like that man looks just goes just like, it's fine, it's on us, please stop. And in the melee you don't see that. Like you see Quin there like standing like holding a stick, and just like 3 men and women are already like down. You don't see what happened, but like he's just there like breathing heavily. And then like the scared man just looks at Quin, just goes, please sir, no more, it's fine, we'll pay, we'll get you what you need. We're sorry that we tried, we're so sorry. And the other ones are just like nodding, and Quin like looks, is this same look as you just like found a friend of yours, like it's like you never seen, like you never thought your friend would ever like do drugs or something, and then like you figure out like there's like a part of his like your life that like he's never shown, and he just sees that you've seen this now, and he's just like and just like doesn't know what to say. And he's just like mouth agape, like like looking at you now, just like, are we gonna talk about this or um
Oh, Quinn, thank you for intervening there, but
yeah.
you are more capable than I suspected. I have seen you running out in the woods, but
Mhm.
my goodness, you could give your brother a run for his money.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Corbett has taught me a thing or two. Um, usually, brings Kane along for their little training sessions. Um, you're really good with that knife. Did you? I saw what you did. It was whoa. That the skill, the dexterity you showed with that dagger.
Ah.
Really, that's what we should be. Did Kane show you a thing or two?
I don't know what I would have done with that dagger if that brute had kept pressing.
It's like honestly, they're not. They were like they weren't even that um good at fighting, right? Everyone, you didn't even put up, and they all just nod together. It's like, no, we weren't, we weren't that good. It's like, see, it's like you honestly took the most skilled one. I just had, I was just lucky. I was just really lucky.
I think Adair gives a quizzical frown toward him. You don't have to be shy about this, Quinn. Not with me, at least.
I'm, I, I just, I just want to run the general store and do this on the side. It's like I like what we have, but those two things, I don't need a third thing. Two is good. Two is fine.
Well, you're most accomplished at both of them, may I say.
Yeah. Um. Don't you don't have to tell Kailan about this, right?
Oh, Kailan, yes. There is. I worry about her too. She is nursing an injury of some sort. Have you seen that she is seems to be dependent on that staff she carries?
Yeah.
I think at this point they're kind of walking away from the.
Yeah. They're all just like holding each other. It's like, are you guys okay? That was rough. I was like walking away casually. It's like, yeah, yeah. I hope she's not like spreading herself too thin. You think? There's a lot more people here.
I worry that it might be something more than that.
Oh,
She is a twin of Rayla, and I worry that if Rayla has been injured in some way, then Kailan is feeling it or is being affected somehow. Have you heard of such things with twins?
I always thought that just like that's something people just like hearsay about twins, like they can read each other's thoughts or whatever. Is that I don't know, magic is weird. Like, is that maybe like it's you forget that because we live here, so far away from everything that like some real. I mean, we have someone called the Sorcerer King, so I know magic is like we never see like the really big stuff.
But
Maybe.
the small subtle things can be powerful in their way.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear about Corbert showing interest in that, like, I guess like a messenger he met along the road? Have you heard about that?
Yes, I did hear something. What do you think? I always thought he was in love with Rayla, but
Yes. That's what I'm saying. God damn it, Corbett.
you think his
Rabadar,
eye has been caught?
Oh my god. It's even when we were kids, like he would get like a new wooden sword from father, and then a new wooden spear would come into the store, and he would just forget about the wooden sword. Like I don't just oh my god. I don't know what to do with him sometimes.
Well, I think he's big enough now that he had best learn to make his own decisions. It's not your responsibility to manage his romantic life.
It's just that you're not there when it's really late at night and he's like pining over a girl. Like it's both endearing and just incredibly annoying.
But what about you, Quin?
Hmm?
What about you, Quin?
Me?
Yes.
Been really busy picking up the store. I don't know. Haven't really like thought about it very much. You found someone so quickly. Um, I I don't know. I just always thought that like it happens when it happens. I'm not. There's just always been more to worry about, you know?
Well, just between the two of us, if you ever do set your eyes on someone, then I may be able to help.
Yeah. I've heard from the many fisher men and women that your wares are really helpful.
But perhaps don't mention that to Kailan.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
we
sure.
both. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So, and then he like turns around with like you all too. If you meet someone named Kailan, don't say anything about this, okay? And they all just like the far away. It's like people just like they just nod like thumbs up. And yeah, we can end the scene there.
And we close out Act 2, and we're going to do some strength and weakness checks before we end the session for today and do stars and wishes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's go in reverse this time. So, Kailan, for the scenes.
I want to go.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Rob.
I want to go weak
Mhm.
because something is troubling her, and she won't ask for help. She is trying to keep this burden on herself, and yeah, I think that's some people might consider that a strength. They're just trying to, but she's trying to do too much, or she's trying to take. She doesn't know how to ask for help, perhaps.
I'm
I'm still trying to figure that out. Adair is still trying to figure that out.
I'll go for like a strong part I saw in the scenes, as much as kind of similarly to like the other act. Like as much as Kailan is like going through like stuff and just like has responsibilities for the village, she still like she isn't just her job. She's still her. She still like visits Adair when she's like worried about her best friend, and she still like gloats over like Corbert finding someone else. Like it's kind of like that doctor thing of some doctors are just doctors. That's their whole life. But then like some other doctors are like, yeah, but I'm still like a person when I'm not on the clock. And I think that's like a strong part of Kailan.
I mean, again, it's like I kind of agree for the same reasons because, being more human about it, in terms of like, yeah, I mean, she does not like Corbett at all.
Yeah.
And she's very happy her twin doesn't have to worry about it. At least if it's the rumor's true, which she's totally happy to take. She's feeling her illness, and yeah, I mean, again, nurturing other people is easier, much easier than trying to care for herself. So she's definitely kind of trying to put that off to the side as much as possible. Even allowing Adair to suggest, like, using some of her remedies for this. I mean, I don't think that she would do that normally if she was okay. So in a way, like, allowing her best friend to do this is kind of asking for help, because this is incrementally how she can do it. She can't just say, hey, I'm hurting, like, please help me. She can't do that. That's not her way. So judgment call. Hate that. Yeah, let's say strong. Okay. Quin.
Yeah, I'll just go with the obvious one. Like he's clearly hiding something from his friends that he really needs to tell someone about. And that's like not really a strong point of this act. So yeah, I'll do the easy one and just put the weak for that one.
I'm going to go with strong for him because there's clearly more to him than meets the eye. Even if he's not entirely comfortable with it, with that aspect to himself, or he's, there is something he's concealing or something he's still trying to come to terms with. But there is, there's a strength under there somewhere that is going to come out sooner or later.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, like, that is just so totally true. I mean, he's the older brother, but been overshadowed by his younger, more boisterous sibling, and like, just to know that there's something behind that is just so much more well-rounded. Like, he's not just the stooping clerk. He's got more behind him than that, and I think that's a strong trait for sure. And I can't wait to see,
Yeah.
what he does with it later on for sure. Knowing what we know for the later acts.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So yeah, strong.
Mhm.
And Adair. I'm gonna say strong right off the bat. It's like, holy shit, girl, you know? you know. Not sure if she actually showed that to her best friend. Or yeah, like, well. We never explained that, like, how Kailan nearly killed you.
That was I was going to bring that up in wishes. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
So, like, remind me. It's like that will definitely come up
Mm.
for like a later scene for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely saying strong for Kailan from me. I mean for Adair, yeah.
Yeah, because like this really like big thing happened with Adair's husband, and we didn't really see like the strongest like reaction from her. Like we still don't know, like at least he hasn't really shown to Quin or Kailan like clearly how this is all like affecting her, and it's like it's not that she's like weak or anything like that, but like not showing, like it still feels like there's not a lot of like we haven't seen the vulnerable side to her like yet. I'll put a week for that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn about how to assess this in this segment. I have some things in mind for where I'm going to go from here, but I don't want to bring, that's not what I should be basing it on right now.
Yeah, just think about the scenes that Adair was in, and it's like, what would you say for assessing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with strong, I guess, because she was trying to get to the bottom of what's wrong with Kailan. And also kind of encouraging a little bit Quin to kind of think about put himself first for once.
Yeah, she feels like the most put together of like the friend group, there's always just that one person that just like has stuff more together than everyone else.
Love it. Okay, so we will open up with another letters interlude for next session, but for right now, stars and wishes to close out.
No, I can go. Stars for Rob as per usual, because like I feel like what I try to accomplish with my characters in like 30 words, you can like accomplish in like 15. It's like crazy. I know it's like a stylistic play style thing, but like it's just as a person who's very verbose, I it's always very impressive to me. And star for Mads for Oit for like one, just like it's always difficult to do like conversations like where you're both the people at the beginning, and that was like a really good conversation between the two. It was really fun. And also like it always feels like you have like such a strong idea for your character whenever we begin, like, and like I always feel like I'm just figuring stuff out, but like you always like kind of like have a like good sense of where to go, sometimes more so than me. And like it's good to see. Like I always feel like I'm just like playing off. I'm just like waiting for like to see what you do, and then I'm just like, okay, I'll just do what's the next thing from that. So wishes for next, also just like a star for the game. Like second time around definitely better. And as like for like it's like GMless games like this with like a lot of just like no like as much direction um is always like harder for me. I prefer like a more structured game, but because it's like the premise is very like clear, like it's not as hard to like go off from, and it just gives you just enough of like prompting to like go forward, which is nice. And wishes for next time, I want to know. It's kind of just like an interest thing. Like I want to know what the illness is. I know it's like something we learn at the end, but that's super interesting. Like I want to see Adair just to see we didn't get to see like the first season of Breaking Bad between like Adair and Quin, but like I would love to see like this is probably like the end of like the show is what's gonna happen towards the end. I just want to see where that goes really, and how that affects our ending. Um, and at least for my character, yeah, I want to like know whether he like goes after Rayna or not, because I don't know. We'll see how that turns out at the end. But yeah, that's it for me, I think.
Stars, I think star for Paul for like such a different character from last time in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I think star for both of you for just building these really intriguing mysteries about what's going on with these people. Like what is Quin training for? What's he trying to be? How does he really feel about Kailan and Rayna? I think those are like these threads that I'm like intrigued by. And with Kailan, I'm like, what's going on with her? What's this? Is she ill? Is she pregnant? Is she tied to her twin in some way? And like something has happened to Rayna and it's Kailan. You know, there's so many interesting possibilities that I think, you know, and I'm like imagining. That's given me a lot to work with in terms of like imagining what is going through Adair's mind about this. I think wishes for next time, I want to explore a bit more of Adair's vulnerable and weaker sides, because I think she's been you know, we've seen her kind of taking care of business and being capable, but there's got to be some vulnerability and weakness there as well. And obviously the big wish is, we've got to figure out because this relationship she has with Kailan is really interesting, that Kailan considers Adair her best friend, but Adair is also kind of hiding something from Kailan, and
I feel like we're all hiding things from Kailan.
And then this is also this thing that Kailan once almost killed her, and we've got to figure out what that is. That was too enticing a prompt to not use. So
I think that's going to be very interesting. So if we make part 2 the reveals, it's like, okay, and it's like, okay, how does this come out in a confrontation in terms of you know, all of them dealing with each other's secrets or what have you. So that'll be fun. So definitely looking forward to that as a wish. Star, again, I mean, Rob is the master of subtlety, and manages to get across a character with, like, again, as you say, Paul, like with few strokes, which is wonderful. So that's, I mean, and like me, I have my own brand of verbosity. So I mean, I get you there, man. So I'm all about it. But you have great characters too, and just like, you have this character, and he's so cool in his ordinary way, and then you have the brother who's just such an asshole. But then you bring him out through your character's eyes, and it's
Mhm.
just great to be able to see that.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
you are a match for your brother. Like Quin is a match for Corbert. That
Yeah.
is not a
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
And it'll be interesting to see like how Quin comes into his own once we get into the
Yeah.
remaining act and scenes, because I mean,
Mhm.
it'll be a test of all of our metal to see how we get through it. I mean,
Yeah.
part of it will be because of the strength and weakness checks at the end, of course,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doing
yeah.
math. Ugh.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, it's going to be exciting to see,
Yeah.
I think. And so I'm looking forward to our next session. All
Mhm.
right. So, yeah. So have like a little bit to think about.
Mhm.
And I look forward to next session for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
See
Well
ya.
done.